So David Benavidez is fighting David Lemieux sometime in the spring. And I believe this is a smart and strategic move that Team Benavidez is doing. And before I get into detail on that, let's look at both fighter records. So David Lemieux has 43 wins with an impressive 36 KOs. He has 4 losses, and 2 of those 4 losses, he's been stopped. He is also on a 5-fight win streak, and 3 of those 5 fights, he stopped his opponents. He KO'd Gary O'Sullivan, he's KO'd Francis Ngannou, and he's TKO'd his last opponent, which is David Zagata. And he has a lot of momentum going right now. David Lemieux, we all know he's a puncher. We know that, according to BoxRec, he's ranked number 1 in super middleweight in Canada. And in the world, he's ranked number 7. So David Lemieux could fight. He's no joke. And he's a dangerous fighter for Benavidez, especially if David Benavidez gets hit clean, which I don't advise David Benavidez to really fight like he's, maybe he should use his distance with David Lemieux, his reach, his height. I would like to see that, but we'll see. Now, David Benavidez, his record is 25 wins with a very impressive 22 KOs. He is on a 5-fight win streak as well. He's on he hasn't lost, so he's on a 25-fight win streak. But he's on a 5-fight stoppage streak. He's stopped Jalen Love and Anthony Jarrell, Angulo, Ronaldo Ellis, and then Crone Davis. So he's KO'd his last 5 opponents. We all know David Benavidez can fight and how much he has power. We don't have to talk about that, right? And we don't, David Benavidez, he's in the talks of fighting Canelo, so we all know where this is going in. Let me talk about why I think this is a strategic move that Team Benavidez is doing. Let's look at Canelo's and Lemieux's comparisons. Canelo is 5'8". David Lemieux is 5'9.5". Similar in height. Canelo's reach is 70.5. David Lemieux is 70 inches. So they're prepping Benavidez for Canelo. It's obvious. And it's such a smart move to get a guy that is similar in height, kind of similar in punching power, because David Lemieux, he could punch. And to see, David is only 25. This is going to be his the hardest puncher he's faced, in my opinion, in his career. And it's to test Benavidez to see, okay, how can he handle a smaller guy that has a punch, similar to Canelo. But he should be able to beat him, and beat him pretty good, pretty impressive. And it's smart. It's smart for Team Benavidez to fight Lemieux. And it shouldn't last more than 7 or 6 rounds. And David Benavidez should beat him. And he should move on to, which I believe should be after Lemieux, either Caleb Plant, and then beat Caleb Plant more impressive than Canelo earlier in the rounds, because then that builds more of the Canelo fight. And also, he should fight maybe a Daniel Jacobs, maybe a Charlo brother, maybe a Billy Joe Saunders. But he definitely needs to fight Caleb Plant. Benavidez definitely needs to fight Caleb Plant and beat him more impressive than Canelo. I think that's a smart move. I think it's a winnable fight for Benavidez, and a fight that Benavidez should be able to beat better than Canelo, and it just adds more to the story to Canelo. So now, understanding the business of boxing, to the people that do understand the business of boxing, to be real with you guys, we're not gonna get Canelo versus Benavidez next year. It shouldn't happen. And the reason why I say it shouldn't happen is because we need a year for the pay-per-view buys to build up, for the story to build up, and also for both fighters to get even more motivation than they have. Canelo needs more motivation. He needs people to start doubting him. He needs more people and more time to start doubting him. He needs people. He needs David Benavidez to beat a Caleb Plant more impressive, or to beat David Lemieux more impressive, to beat a Daniel Jacobs more impressive, to beat him, and for people to say, hey, Benavidez is beating fighters that you look bad in, meaning Caleb Plant. He stopped him in 4 rounds. He stopped him in 5 rounds. He stopped him in 6, 8 rounds. He stopped him before you. Or he beat him all 12 rounds and he beat him up. Caleb Plant didn't look impressive with Benavidez. Benavidez is better than Canelo. That's the story. That's the story that needs to brew, because that's going to give Canelo motivation to fight Benavidez. I don't think Benavidez or Canelo is ducking Benavidez. There's no way. I don't even think Team Benavidez wants Canelo this next year, as well as they shouldn't, for the money, for the business side, and also for David's experience-wise. Let's look at Canelo's age. He's 31. I'd rather have Team Benavidez and David Benavidez fight Canelo when he's closer to 33. And I think they want to too. Why catch him in his prime? David Benavidez is 25, guys. Why not have David Benavidez be 27 or closer to 27 when he's honestly probably in his prime at 27, or entering his prime to where he could beat a legend like Canelo? Why not? Why not have Canelo versus Benavidez happen in 2023 in May, or which I believe it's going to be in May, in September 2023. That's where I would want that fight. I'd rather have that fight happen there in Mexican Independence Day. Guys, that would be, that is the next mega fight if they do it right. The next mega fight is Canelo versus Benavidez in Vegas, and everyone's gonna go there. That's gonna be the Mayweather, like a Mayweather Pacquiao, guys. That's gonna be that big. And you guys want to know something too? That pay-per-view is gonna be $120. I really do believe that. Mayweather Pacquiao was $100, guys. It was $100. This fight that's brewing, that I believe is going to happen, Canelo versus Benavidez, oh, guys, that is going to be a classic. That is going to be an amazing fight that we're going to pay $120 to watch. The tickets are going to be insane. Guys, and just think about why it would be $120 for a pay-per-view. The other day I was driving by. McDonald's is paying employees close to $18 an hour. These factories that, if you do factory work, they're paying close to $20 an hour. People are making more money. Inflation is even happening right now. In 2023, that pay-per-view is going to be $120. And this fight is going to be worth $120 pay-per-view. It's going to be that good, guys. The story just needs to build right. And I believe what they're doing with David, they're giving someone similar to David Lemieux. Okay, boom. He beats him, impressive. Then a Caleb Plant next. Beat him, impressive. He beats Caleb Plant, more impressive to Canelo. Or maybe they save Caleb Plant for 2023 early. And then they fight David Lemieux. Then maybe a Daniel Jacobs or a Charlo brother or Billy Joe Sanders, and then a Caleb Plant. Or you could go in this in this order: David Lemieux, Charlo brother, Caleb Plant. The 5 fighters I would say that are on Benavidez's list is Callum Smith, any of the Charlo brothers, Daniel Jacobs, Abney Yildirim, Billy Joe Sanders, and Caleb Plant. Any of those 3 or 2 fighters before Canelo is the smart move. But for sure, Caleb Plant needs to be in there. Caleb Plant needs to for sure fight Benavidez. Just think about it. Benavidez stops Plant in 5. That headline, that story. How Canelo is going to feel. How Canelo would feel. Hey, wow. Benavidez stopped Caleb Plant in 5 rounds. And people are talking smack and saying that, and he or he looked way better in that fight, even though he won unanimous decision. People start questioning Canelo now. David Benavidez, he should beat, the battle of the Davids. The better David should win, which is David Benavidez. And once he gets past Lemieux, I would love to see him fight Caleb Plant next. Or if not, Caleb Plant like a Daniel Jacobs. Beat him impressive, even better than Canelo. Then beat Caleb Plant, beat him better than Canelo. Then fight Canelo in 2023 in May or September. That's what I would want. That's when I would say it's perfect timing to get Canelo. But who knows? Canelo could be smart and get David this year, and it would be smart for Canelo to get him this year. If I'm Canelo's team, I want David Benavidez right now. Like I want him right away, just like Mayweather did to Canelo. That is my thoughts on. First off, David Benavidez facing David Lemieux, and also, David Benavidez maybe strategy and how he's gonna get to Canelo, and also the business side. If you guys like what you guys heard, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'm going to be doing these pretty often in the week now. So, like I said, subscribe and support your local boy right now. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of All Around Boxing TV.